Hi Scorpio. Welcome to your extended for August 2019. Welcome to Glow in the Dark Tarot. So, let's get started. So as I said before in your other video, what I do is I put the clarifying cards on top of the original spread. If you don't know what the original spread looks like, I'll reference the previous video in this video, but feel free to check out that other video too, so you can have a little bit more insight. So I started your last video out with asking you, what are you thinking about? Similar to how I did Leo. And so let's see. So one thing I also said in your video is that there are some changes going on in your life right now, as far as maybe breakups or people moving in and out of your life, you changing jobs, you having to reevaluate your sense of stability, your sense of security. Your sense of security has been turned upside down. It has been shaken by something. Whether this something is a toxic person, whether this something has to do with a divorce, whether this something has to do with you cutting off friends or friends cutting you off, you are going through a lot of changes. One thing I also mentioned in your other video was the fact that you are more concerned with moving on, moving through what's going on. So regardless of what's happening, I think that you're in a place where you don't really have the time to process what's happening. I also feel like you're not really making time to process what's happening. You're just trying to move through it, move on, and get it over with. That is the energy that I'm picking up for you, Scorpio. So with this Eight of Cups in the reverse, clarifying the Strength in reverse, there is something that, even though it does have you a little bit upside down with your inner sense of clarity or your inner security, there is something that you are having a hard time moving away from, regardless of how much you want to move away from it. Does that make sense? So again, it's that whole notion of wanting to move through whatever you're going through, wanting to move away from whatever it is that you want to move away from, wanting to just get whatever this is over it, whether it's a breakup, whether it's a job change, whether this has to do with your financial situation. You just want to get through it. You want to get it over with already. But there is a part of you that is still dealing with it because it's still going on. And there's a part of you that hasn't fully walked away from it because maybe you don't have as much clarity on your end as you feel you need. There's something about it that still confuses you. There's something about it that you feel you don't know how you've gotten to this point, or how it's gotten this far, or how it's gotten this bad. So, like I said, you're focused on just moving through it. I feel like you're kind of pushing yourself to move through it and not really process the emotions, or being able to process the emotions. The Knight of Wands being clarified by the Ace of Swords in reverse, you are looking forward to moving forward, but you are also taking your time. I don't think you're really interested in being too impulsive. I feel like a part of you feels as though you're kind of second guessing yourself, right? So maybe you're second guessing some decisions you made in the past. Maybe you're second guessing the things that you have invested in up into this point with the Six of Pentacles in reverse. You're thinking about the things that you have invested in up into this point, and maybe you're wondering, if was I too impulsive in the future with the things I've worked for so far? Maybe if I wasn't so impulsive in the future, maybe it wouldn't be upside down. And that could be true, it could not be true. That's why I said I do get a feeling that you are kind of second guessing yourself. You're kind of doubting yourself. I don't want to say that you're blaming yourself for the position that you feel like you're in now, but I do think that you are trying to figure out a way to be better and do better, because maybe then the same thing wouldn't happen. And I feel like you definitely feel that things aren't in your favor right now. I feel like you kind of, I hate that I keep saying feel, but I sense that you kind of feel like there are a lot of things happening around you that are outside of your control. They're just happening. The people that are leaving, the relationships that are ending, the jobs that are ending, the things that are just falling away, they're doing so regardless of the good things that you have been doing. I feel like you feel that there is some part of the universe that is not on your side. I don't know. There's definitely something that ended that is kind of making you feel on the outs. And again, this is why I said that it might be possible that you feel that some things are out of your control, because I feel like there are some things that are changing at such a rate and to such a degree that you're kind of just an autopilot. Like you're kind of just looking on the outside end of your own life. I do feel an avoidance of you dealing with this emotionally, because right now you're just trying to get through it. Right now you don't feel in control. Right now you don't feel like you can turn this wheel of fortune right side up. Things are just happening. It's happening. And you're just trying to get through it until it stops happening. I do feel, though, there is a purpose in what you feel is falling apart in your life, or what you feel isn't quite on your side. This need to move forward, this need to charge ahead will be backed for you by the universe. The universe will help you move on. The universe will help you move forward. All these things that are falling away have to fall away for this to come out. So don't think that you are wrong for any decisions that you are making, for any ties that you are cutting. Don't think that you're wrong. Don't think that nothing has your back. Don't ignore your intuition. Don't ignore the signs. Don't get distracted by the illusion of this 7 or 6 of Pentacles being in the reverse, of being upside down. Don't get distracted by it, because eventually it will be right side up. There was some type of foundation that you had that perhaps was made in a sense of immaturity. Maybe you were a little naive when you got married. Maybe you were a little naive when you got with your lover. Maybe you were a little naive when you took on this new job and now you realize you don't want it anymore or it's not working. Maybe whatever this old sense of security that you had, maybe it's not for you anymore because you're coming into something different. You're coming into something new. You're coming into something more mature, more stable, more foundational. So the things that are upside down right now eventually will be right side up. They are leading you to your true foundation and to a new foundation. Keep pushing forward regardless of the anxiety this brings you. I do feel like you are a little bit uncertain. I mentioned that in your other video. Even though you have made up your mind that you are moving on, you are still a little uncertain with where you're moving on to. And sometimes when we're uncertain, we function off of a stripped down approach, a less matured approach to moving on. And that doesn't necessarily have to be bad. But sometimes when things change, people leave, things cause us anxiety. Sometimes it shakes us to our core. And we might have the core concept of what we need to do, which is move on. But because it's so rattling, we kind of act, I don't want to say immature in a way, but we're using a core reaction to fix a core need, but we're starting over with new tools, if that makes sense. Whatever that's ending, know that it's ending. Whatever that's ending, know that it's ending for a reason. This is the World card clarifying the Chariot. You are deciding to move on. The universe is deciding that whatever this cycle that you were in was, it was just that, it was a cycle. It was something that was supposed to end and you were supposed to learn from it. This is the ending of a cycle, and this is for something for you to come into the new. With that, again, your security, your confidence may be a little upside down. Your confidence within yourself may be a little upside down. Your intuition may be a little upside down while you're feeling your way through this new uncertain path that you have to go on based off of the things that are falling off around you. I do think at the core of you, you know what you want. You don't want any immaturity. You don't want any bullshit or fuckery. As I always say, I love that combination of words. You don't want anything that will not put this King of Wands in the upright. You don't want anything that will not help you or your empire to grow. You're not for it. You have a baseline understanding of what you need and what you don't need. But again, you are using new tools to start this new cycle. You are protective of yourself and of the things that you have and of the things that you have left, of the feelings that you have, of the feelings that you have left. You are not looking at the past. You are not looking at the past in a way that it seems as something that will benefit you. You are starting to see the past, maybe not fully for what it is, because I think that you have yet to fully process it. And that goes again with that avoidance. But I think it's clear that the past is not the direction to go. Backwards is not the direction for you to go, especially if you want to protect what you still have. especially if you want to continue to cut your losses. However, this feeling of discontentment, this feeling of not being at a place where you can at least say you are satisfied, does leave you feeling some kind of way. You might not want to go into the details. You might not want to even go into the details with yourself. But if anyone had to ask you for a quick 5-second explanation of what you're going through and how it makes you feel some type of way about it. And again, whether this is love, whether this is career, whether this has to do with money, you know you're not fully there. And you are determined to move forward and to move on, but you can't say that you're content. This might be a situation where, again with the avoidance, this might be a situation where it's like, hey, you know, I heard your girlfriend cheated on you. You doing all right? Yeah, you know, shit was fucked up. Yeah. I mean, we were supposed to get married like in 2 months, but you know, I was thinking about proposing to her. Yeah. Yeah. You know, I think for the most part, this is something that you're stuffing down, that you're hiding. Or maybe you're just not really trying to deal with it right now. But whatever is going on, you do feel some type of way about it. And I would dare say that maybe it's not so much about the heartbreak, but it's just about the thing that should be causing you heartbreak that you're not quite focusing on yet right now at this moment because you were trying to move on. But I think for the most part right now, if anything, you might be feeling some type of way. You might be a little hurt. You might be a little insecure. You might be a little bit pissed off that your sense of security, because if this has to do with heartbreak and if this has to do with love, you'll deal with that. You will process that at some point. But right now, your sense of security, your well-being, your life, your routine has been fucked with. And I think, if anything, if you really wanted to get into it about how you feel right now, that's the thing that you would talk about most. At some point, you will process the rest of this, the rest of the reason why your sense of security and what you worked for up until this point have been turned upside down. But right now, you're thinking about the tangible things. You're moving forward, but you're taking your time. You're not too interested in being impulsive and rushing forward. Part of you is a little hesitant of rushing forward because you don't want to rush into something that is going to create the same thing that you're going through right now. At the same time, you're not up for carrying any burdens that don't need to be carried. You are dropping what you need to drop in order to move forward, in order for this cycle to continue to close. You're doing what you got to do right now, Scorpio. And that might just be what I named this video. You are doing what you have to do. I think that's all the time that you have for right now. And I think that's what you have the energy for right now. Later on, you will process and digest all this shit. But right now, it's too much for you to do that. Right now, you are worrying about the basics. Right now, you're just trying to move forward and get through this. Regardless of how you think things aren't working in your favor, aren't working for you, and it's out of your control, you are going to get through this, and you will get through this. And you are going about this in a pragmatic way. You're a little uncertain of what this new path will be, but you know whatever this new path will be, you don't want any bullshit. You're not really interested in love right now if you're single and if you're just getting out of something, and if this is what that Three of Swords has to do with. You're not focused on that right now. You're not focused on anything that will further distract you and your uncertainty. With that, you're holding on to your own. You're holding on to yourself. You're keeping to yourself. You're keeping your emotions in check. You're keeping your water in check. You're sitting on your throne. You're putting on a brave face. There are emotions in there somewhere. There are feelings in there somewhere, but you are doing your best to hold them, to move forward, to do what you have to do. You will get there, Scorpio. And this is more for your benefit than you think, than it feels, than it seems like. This will work out in the end. Things will come full circle. And you will learn what you would have needed to learn from this situation. Again, whether this has to do with love, career, or your finances. Okay? You're doing good. Keep it up. So Scorpio, this has been your extended for August 2019. I'm going to try to get the mint months out soon. Okay? Soon. I still have a lot of other signs that I have to do for August. I'm going to do a couple bonuses, but I will let you know. Okay? So, thank you for tuning in to Glow in the Dark Tarot. Please feel free to leave a comment. Please feel free to hit the thumbs up button, thumbs down button. Please feel free to leave a comment. Please leave a comment. I would love to hear what you guys thought of this reading, if it resonated with you or not. If this reading resonated with you, great. If it did not, that's fine too. There are other readers out there. Please feel free to check those readers out until you find the message that resonates with you, okay? Again, Scorpio, you will probably be one of the signs to do a bonus for. So look out for that. And again, thank you so much for tuning in. Love you. Bye.